Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Episode 15 of the Cheddar Jack podcast.
I think it's 16.
No, it's 15.
It is?
Yeah.
I thought it was 16.
Word on the street is 14.
14?
I mean, it could be. Nah, it's definitely not 14.
So...
Anyways, what doesn't matter about the number, it matters about the guest,
So, Chris Blackway, owner of Nomad Supply Co. Chris, would you like to, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
It's good to have you guys here.
Yeah,
it's good to have you on.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on. We've been wanting to do this for a while. We interviewed you for a personal finance project. You remember that?
I do.
That was like a year. That was almost a year
Yeah, it
ago.
was almost a year ago. It was right after we opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't really we kind of knew each other, but it wasn't obviously we know each other now.
Right.
It was a lot different.
Yeah. Just before we had pizza together and shared a Pepsi.
So many good nights. so many good times. So
we didn't share Pepsi.
We didn't share Pepsi.
COVID rules.
Exactly. We each
had their own.
We had our own straw.
Own straw. 6 feet away. They were very long straws.
This is 6 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a ruler, but we could, or a measuring tape, but we could.
Yeah, a 6 feet ruler.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris,
double yardstick.
you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Chris Blackway. I am 41 years old. I own Nomad Supply Co here in Doylestown.
Very nice shop. I hate to plug it, but it's a very good shop if you're listening.
I take a little pride in it.
Yeah. It's a really cool shop. If you guys haven't been in, you guys should definitely come by. Chris is very nice, and he has very nice employees, so definitely come by and check it out.
I would back everything that was just said, and I implore you to come check it out.
Yeah. So how exactly did Nomad start?
Oh God, how did it start? So we wanted to do it for a really long time.
How long are we talking?
Older than you guys, 20 years. No, legit 20 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just didn't make sense. It just could never make sense in happening. So then I was working for a company that, is known for just letting people go. So I lost my job. And I was looking for jobs, and I was like, I'm not gonna start from the bottom again. I'm too many years old to start from the bottom someplace again. Yeah. So I was just like, I'm going for it because I know what I'm doing.
Be your own boss.
Yeah.
So what experience exactly did you have that made it so that you could just come in and basically, well, not obviously just come in, but what
background did you have that made this easier for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was in retail my entire life since I was 16 or 17 years old.
What was your first job?
This is the lamest story ever, but it's amazing. So I grew up pretty much my second home was New York City. My uncle lived up there. We were up there all the time, and we're going back into early 90s at this point, and I knew this company called Urban Outfitters, right? And it was cool back then. It actually was punk rock, and it was totally different than what it is now.
When did it start?
Urban?
When did Urban?
Back in the 70s or something. Yeah, it's an older company, but it totally started differently than what it is now.
Yeah,
it's trash.
I can imagine.
Anyway, yeah. So back in my hometown, I grew up in Warminster, and they were building this new shopping center, and there was this huge building going in, and I thought it was Urban Outfitters, and I went, I applied.
Oh no.
It wasn't good.
I don't like where this is going.
It's not good. And got the job, and I was super psyched. Show up, and it was actually Old Navy. So instead of selling all this super rap punk rock, surf and skate stuff, music and all that stuff, it was American flags with dogs on them.
So how heartbroken were you?
I was pretty heartbroken.
Yeah, it must have been one of the worst days of your life when you show up and you realize it's an Old Navy.
Oh, it was so bad. I was like, wait, where am I working? I didn't know. I didn't know the difference.
How did it end up being?
Oh, it was horrible. It was just like you would imagine, yeah. But, I mean, I was super immature, and, I was it was summertime, so, Old Navy had all these, flip-flops that they do, cheapo rubber things. And, they had these plastic triangular things, so, you know, at Old Navy, like, they close and the boss goes into the office, counts the money. It takes like a solid hour at least, and you're supposed to be like straightening up. And we just figured out how to use those things basically as like, you know, flying, like throwing stars.
That's sick.
Yeah, so basically like shut off the lights and you just have two teams against each other. So
Yeah, I was on a professional star throwing team.
yeah,
They were
we did
flip-flops.
that. It was so embarrassing. Anyway, yeah, so that didn't go so well.
Did your boss call you? Like, did you ever?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
They didn't care.
it was a whole store, so I was like, who's gonna get this?
So
Yeah.
did you quit like?
Oh yeah, I was out. I didn't
Was it
last
just
long.
the summer?
No, I don't even know if it was that long. It was pretty.
Yeah?
bad. Yeah. I
So-
couldn't take like folding jeans and like talking about like gray T-shirts with American flags on
Yeah,
the whole time.
But now it's like basically what you do.
no,
not
there's way better stuff.
Well, yeah, way better
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
still.
I mean, yeah, I'm
So
still
did-
doing it because,
but-
like, you know, at least here, like, I get to be creative
Yeah.
and like I do all
It's
the
your own
buying.
thing.
It's my own thing.
Yeah,
So-
it's your choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Did everything you learned there, like, has that helped you? Like, so that was your first retail
That was
job.
my first retail job.
Wait,
And-
so like did you go to college or?
So I went to I ended up going to college, but it kind of like I don't know what I got from it. I'm sure I got something from it deep
Yeah.
down in there, in
Yeah.
the psyche. But I ended up going. I wanted to be like a photographer. I wanted to be like a photojournalist.
Yeah.
It's
Like legit stuff. Like I wanted to go to NYU, but it was like too expensive and all that stuff. But like I ended up going to Bucks for fine art photography. I was actually just talking to Sophie about this.
that's
Like
cool.
I wanted to go for photojournalism, but they like make you take all the fine art classes, and I'm like, I don't care about
Yeah.
that. Like I just want to like take pictures of like protests and wars and stuff.
That's-
Like send me in the like,
So like you graduated and like did you ever you never really pursued this like seriously?
not the fine art stuff. No,
Yeah.
like I did work for a camera company for like or a camera store for like 3 years. Which like so when I decided that I didn't want to do all the fine art stuff, I ended up changing my major to small business management,
Oh, I see.
and that was all like how to start a business, how to run a business, all that stuff. So it did ultimately pay off.
So what was like your first like big first legit retail like business job?
Eastern Mountain Sports.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I worked for them for like 9 years. I was a store
Oh, wow.
manager. Yeah, for like
Wow.
9 years. Yeah.
Where's that?
I started in the Montgomeryville Mall,
Okay.
and then they moved the store to Warrington, like right down the road.
So So you were the store manager. So you were managing everything.
Yeah.
Was that? Did you have any other experience working at other retail stores like besides the Old Navy before that? Like.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So we're going back to the '90s. So it's
Okay.
not, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But I ended up I met my wife at Pacific Sunwear.
Yeah.
So like I met her, got a job at Pacific Sunwear, pretty much because of her, and then she quit. But anyway, I ended up staying there for a while. I don't know if it was me or whatever, but she ended up marrying me, so it couldn't have been me. It
Yeah,
couldn't have been my
wow.
fault she quit. But yeah. But anyway, like we're going back into the '90s, and it was fun. It was a mall job.
Yeah.
Like, it was like it was like a teenager working in a mall, like in the '90s. Like it was
Yeah, that's
like
fun.
amazing, honestly.
Sounds fun.
So
Yeah.
like you've always been involved with just like selling stuff, like
Yeah.
clothes,
Yeah.
like and I guess photography it doesn't really mend with fashion that much, but like
But it's the art aspect of it. So
exactly.
I do, I really appreciate art. Like I think it's like, I like to make art. Like I love photography still. Like, and I think it kind of translated to my like even my like Instagram page.
Yeah.
You know, like I try to like, as cheesy as it sounds, like compose a picture rather than just like taking like a generic picture. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely stands out when looking, as a teenager scrolling through Instagram. Like, at least for when I look at it, but I'm sure others, because nobody wants to see a boring Instagram post, you know what I
No,
mean?
no way.
Because half the posts on Instagram are pretty boring anyways.
Pretty lame, yeah.
Here's a photo of kid wearing Nomad
Yeah.
shirt. Come buy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's so much noise out there that like
Yeah.
gotta try somewhat to stand
Yeah.
out from it.
So, like, you work mainly, like, was it mainly, like, mall, like, surf, like, clothing shops, like,
Yeah.
any other?
I mean, well, the camera store for like 3 years was pretty awesome.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it was friends from high school. Like her parents, my friend Leah's parents owned this camera store, and I worked there for a long time. I mean, 3 years is still a
Yeah.
pretty decent amount of time in the retail world, and
How old were you then?
I probably had to be like 19.
Okay, so
Yeah.
were you still in college or?
Yeah, I think I was still on the Bucks.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a little bit of
It's all blurred.
Yeah, I kind of get
Yeah,
to blur.
sure.
Definitely.
But basically, to sum it up, college wasn't your thing. You liked working
Yeah.
in retail.
Yeah, I mean, part of me wishes that I went to like school for other stuff, but I mean, I feel like I kind of got what I got. Like, I almost feel like real world experience sometimes can be the best learning experience.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, like I could have learned more about finance and all that stuff. Like that, you know, I'm sorry, your finance thing probably didn't turn out great because I'm not a great financial guy.
Our teacher actually really liked it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did we got 100 on that, right?
Yeah.
We
That's
got
awesome.
100. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think we put probably the most effort out of anyone.
Oh,
in that
our-
class.
I appreciated the car ride, like,
Yeah.
in between the different locations.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're you know,
The road
we're
trip to financial success.
personal finance people, but we're also very good at entertaining. You know,
I would say so.
that's
would
our
agree.
goal.
Like
to
that's
entertain.
something I want to do, like for like Wall Street related job. Like I've also considered like if I ever become really good at my job, then I can make a podcast on like stocks and stuff.
Oh,
too.
hell yeah. I mean, I feel like the opportunities are endless now.
Yeah.
Like social media and like not even social media, but just being able to go on the podcast and all that stuff. Like there's so much out there now.
Oh yeah,
For sure. You
it's
can apply it to
crazy.
anything.
Yeah, and like you could literally be like a nobody and become huge in the blink of an eye. Like we've
Mhm.
seen it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So you got laid off from your job. How long were you at that company
5
for?
years.
And
Okay.
what was this company called?
It was actually Urban Outfitters.
Really?
Oh, so you finally
So
got
I finally got there.
That's who I thought.
All right, so here's the thing. Like, I was there for 5 years. I was trying to go into their corporate headquarters down in Philly because, like, I wanted to, like, I didn't want to be in the retail field, they call it. You know, it was like
Are
when
you-
you're working in a store.
Were you store manager there? Or?
I was, yeah.
Okay, so you
You want to
did
be
you
a big shot.
did you go in
Yeah.
and you were like, is that the job you applied for? Or did you have to go?
Yeah,
through-
that's the job I ended up getting.
Okay.
Like, I applied for other jobs. Like, you know, their corporate headquarters is huge. I mean, they employ
Yeah.
so many people, but a lot of them are, like, college students from Philly.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, I was already a store manager for 9 years with this other company, and I was doing, like, fairly well, like, when you come from a store, you know, as that perspective. But, like, so to go to, like, an entry-level, like, corporate job, like, I still had a house and a family, like, I wasn't going to pay for, that
Yeah.
wasn't going to cover bills.
So you had 3 daughters.
my $3.
So did you have all 3 of them at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get the job at Urban Outfitters. How's that?
It was a good learning experience.
So is that
Visually speaking, like, they
yeah?
destroy the visual game when it comes to retail. Like, you know, like a lot of my merchandising and stuff in the store here, and you know, kind of the way I do things, like, you know, I did take from there. So from that perspective, it was awesome.
So
I'm sure you triple checked that it wasn't Old Navy, right?
I did.
You
I
know,
did.
you
I was better. I knew what I was getting into at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
So you go.
Still wasn't everything I hoped it was. Like, I was still, like,
You're
thinking of, like, urban in the 90s,
Yeah.
and it was not urban of the 90s. It
Yeah.
was, it was urban of
Withered down or
Yeah, it was a lot more Reebok and
Yeah.
less studded belts and stuff.
Not very fun.
But so you get laid off from this job.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, I'm sick of working for people. I'm sick of doing this. I want to start my own business.
Yeah.
So, I guess what I'm wondering is, I guess we'll start with the name Nomad. Like,
Yeah.
what inspired you what inspired you to open a skate and surf shop called Nomad?
I mean, I spent a lot of time traveling with, like, surfing, more specifically than skating.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, West Coast stuff, down to the Caribbean, down to Costa Rica, and, you know, up and down the East Coast, you know, Northeast Coast. And, you know, to me, like, surfing and even skating is very nomadic. Like, you're moving. Like, a lot of those people that are, like, die hard with surfing, like, they don't really they have home, but they spend a lot of time traveling.
Yeah.
You know.
Camping.
Yeah,
fees.
exactly. So, like, I wanted something that had to do with, like, movement and, you know, not being, like, stationary so much. And, you know, I was, like, tossing around names, and my wife actually is the one that came up with Nomad, and I was like, oh, that's killer.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah,
sick.
So
it makes
you
total sense.
said that you've been like planning this for about 20 years. So when did you come up with the name? Like when you say you have been planning it for 20 years, do you
Mhm.
mean the idea of opening a shop, or specifically like a skate surf shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always, it was always going to be a shop, like a surf and skate shop.
Okay.
Yeah, always wanted to. And I've lived in Doylestown since 2003, and I always was like, I had a friend here who had a really great like little like vintage boutique called Chelsea, and it was very like there's a lot of like surf beach inspired stuff in there, and I thought it was awesome. And even back then we used to say like, oh, we should open a guy's shop in here that like is beach inspired and stuff like that, surf inspired. And so it was always like in the works in some way. Like it just like needed to kind of get fine tuned in terms of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, like you kind of like can't rush something that's not supposed to be rushed. And that's where it was like, I knew my limitations and knew that like it wasn't the right time to open a shop back then. And thankfully like I did work at Urban and I got more merchandising skills and just overall business skills to take away from there. And so it just kind of like all kind of came together. So it was always there. The idea of Nomad was always there. I just didn't know that it was Nomad yet.
So what year did you get laid off from Urban?
2019.
Oh, so you basically spent the year planning this out. Planning this out, the name, all that, and then you decided to open it here in Doylestown.
Yeah.
What made you choose Doylestown?
I love Doylestown.
Just living here, or?
Yeah, I love it here. Like I don't know, the people are cool. Like there's definitely like an art culture here. And we're only 70 miles from the beach essentially.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 5-10 minutes depending on the time of year. But like, I didn't want to like. It didn't make sense to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like it just felt right. There's a lot of people here that love the beach and.
Yeah.
Plus, Doylestown was missing a shop like this.
Oh, for sure.
Like
that was my biggest complaint. Like as a guy, like where are you gonna buy clothes? Like there's
a
no
skate
place
shop.
to buy clothes anywhere around here.
Problem with Doylestown is that like, I mean, every clothes shop is just like, I don't know, it's like suits or like, not suits, but like, I feel like just kind of like nice clothes that like,
It is.
say guys like me and him wouldn't really relate to, but like, this is finally that place where you get like super dope looking clothes and like that won't break the budget.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just to like have some casual wear that's not the Gap is kind of like really nice for us to have.
Exactly. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, so you got laid off. How long after that were you like, I'm opening this shop? Like,
it took a while, honestly.
Yeah?
I did like, I had some great like friends like help me out in that couple months, like when I was trying to figure it out. Like I was redoing resumes, I was submitting it everywhere, and I'm like, this is so lame. I'm submitting my resume to like a pharmaceutical company. Like I didn't want to do any of that stuff. Like I didn't know that stuff. So I was actually working at a surf shop over in Jersey called Wanderlust. A friend had worked there, and he was friends with the owner, and he gave me like a part-time job. So I was like driving back and forth like for a part-time job to the beach, like hoping that I could surf like before or after. And of course, like there was never any waves on the day that I would have to work, so so I'm basically just driving back and forth. But yeah, like, and then I was like, it's kind of like a weird, funny story, but like I was like, when it came time to be like, I need to do this on my own. Like I'm gonna open a shop, and he was like, "Dude, I back you. I got you."
Wow.
And so,
what was the first step? Like obviously there are a lot of steps.
Business plan and putting together like the image and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's a lot of work. Like figuring out what your identity is ahead of time. And like I knew surf, I knew like travel, and I knew camp and adventure and all that stuff.
Because it's who you are. Like that's what you grew up.
Yeah, I mean that's what I grew up with.
It's
like
natural.
Yeah, and it's funny because like when I originally opened the shop, I was like, all right, we're gonna do cruisers in here, like for like skate. We're gonna do cruisers, like there's other shops in the area, like I don't know how much room there is for like another shop and all that stuff. And then just like the demand went like through the roof for like skate stuff. I was like, okay, like you guys are here, like I'll hook you up. Like,
did you? I mean, I guess you didn't expect that a whole skate park would like completely love this place and beg for skate stuff.
I didn't, and that was definitely like ignorance on my part. Like why wouldn't it become that? Like that's
the thing. Like we've always complained about how there wasn't a skate shop close. And like, because like the skate park's right down the street.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're like, damn, like a skate shop would be really sick. And like, even when I was really into it, like, my parents like legit thought about it. They're like, You know, Nick, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for like me and Dad to open one, but like it ended up not happening.
Yeah.
But like,
I think there's definitely some like fear about a shop in town, like because there's been other skate shops like throughout, you know, even the time that I was spending time up here, like, you know, there was Smoking Coals for a while, and then when they went out of business, I think it was, I want to say it was called Kinetic, but I don't know if it was.
I think so. I don't remember like ever going there, but I remember I think it was Kinetic or something.
I think it was,
similar.
yeah.
But I remember people talking about that. But
yeah.
So did you feel like you were taking a big risk? Like did this because you like essentially like did you have anything else set up or were you going fully in on Nomad like?
Yeah, I was going full in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, it wouldn't have happened, like, you know, over the course of all this time of, like, even considering doing this, like, I've just made so many friends and contacts out there that, like, you know, like, friends and contacts out there are for a reason at some point in time, you know, and it's like, I just called on them and I was like, you know, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And so, like, I had, like, this whole, like, support system that really, like, that really was there, you know, and honestly, like, my wife, like, she's been a hairstylist forever, and she's got like a really good, you know, backing on her end. She's always super busy, and like honestly, like if she wasn't doing that, like I wouldn't be able to do this. You know, it's like thankfully, like, you know, a new business, like, I mean, there's a lot of hurdles to overcome, and you know, it takes a lot of time and money and stuff, but like she's been awesome, and it really has been.
I think that's the beauty of it. It's like high risk, high reward. Like it's like this is really risky. It could end up going out of business, but like this has been on my mind for 20 years. Like I gotta do it
for sure. And I mean, you know, like you have to believe in your idea. Like, I think that's the biggest aspect. If you don't believe in it, like no, how are you gonna sell it to somebody else? Like why would they believe in it?
I've always thought, you know, it'd be super hard to open like a skate shop or something like that in town, or just like anything catered to not because obviously Nomad isn't catered towards one audience, but you know it has definitely a scene, like a specific scene it caters toward, like skate and surf, and obviously like when you look at Doylestown, it doesn't look like the biggest skate surf scene, but I mean over the past year I've noticed like it's just grown. And definitely, like, they've been successful in helping it grow.
Yeah, for sure.
All these little kids coming in here.
Oh, it's awesome.
You know, I feel like last year, all the little kids who are at the skate park just weren't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely seeing it. I mean, my oldest daughter started skating when she was probably 9. I guess she was doing, like, the YMCA skate camps and stuff.
I remember seeing you. That's actually, like, when I first came in here, I was like, oh, my God, that's the guy from the skate park. So I would always... you know, I'd seen you skate like a few times. I was like, oh, that's sick, like a dad skating. Cause there are a few dads who skate at the Y, but like, you know, it's definitely memorable to see one who's like skating out there with his kids. And then I would see like, you know, your daughters skating, and obviously that's another thing because, you know, there aren't a lot of girls who go out and skate, so that was super sick. And then I came in here and I was like, oh my God, it's the guy from the Y, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's been so rad to watch because it's like, you know, there was like the whole crew of like you guys, you know, and then there was like really nobody below. Like there was like a couple of younger kids, but there really wasn't a big little kid like crew over there.
Yeah, true.
And now it's like,
I think
you guys getting kicked out by a whole bunch of like 10-year-olds.
I think one of the cool things about this shop also is like it's not just skate and surf. I mean, like like people can just come in here because the clothes are sick. I mean, like. Exactly. I personally like kind of faded out of skating and like I'd like to surf, but like currently I'm not doing either. But like I still come in here because like the clothes you have are dope, and it's like and like I feel like me and other people around will be like, I gotta check this place out.
Yeah, for sure. And like I mean I've tried really hard to find like small brands or like, you know, I still call them local even though they're from Jersey, but like Jetty as an example, they're from Jersey. They're awesome people. And I just want to like support them as much as possible. Like, you know, I think it's so important to like everybody around here knows them because everybody spends time in Long Beach Island during the summer and stuff like that. So it's like if I can give them something that they can relate to all the time, like it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
like,
What are some of your favorite like personally like what are some of your favorite brands to like wear and
I mean, so like I grew up when Volcom like hit like heyday, like in its heyday, like back in the 90s, you know, they had like they were definitely more, in my opinion, they were more surf oriented than they were skate back then. But they had like such a killer team. Like just watching Bruce Irons, like, you know, I think like we're about the same age now, so he's, you know, unfortunately like at 40 something, you kind of like aren't like the hottest thing out there anymore. But like, you know, he defined my like what I envisioned surfing as back then, like watching like all those insane video parts. So I mean, I kind of have like a nostalgic thing with Volcom, and I think they're still killing it. I mean, their Volcom skate team is insane. I mean, Bill Martinez is just like on fire these days.
Yeah,
like,
they have a pretty good team.
Yeah. But I mean, even like Rourke as an example, I think is a huge one.
Sick.
Yeah, so sick. I mean, like they embody that whole like nomadic thing.
Yeah,
you know?
I like how it's not just like, obviously it's like core skate brands are sick, but I like how it's skateboarding, but then like if you go and look at their Instagram and their website and all that, it's like camping and like going to the beach and like hanging out around a campfire. Like I think that's super sick.
Oh, and it's like ATVs like in the middle of like nowhere with like board straps to them. I'm just like, oh my god. Like every picture they post, I'm like, why can't I be there right now? Like
exactly.
Yeah, so it's like they totally embody like that whole nomadic thing that like I would love for people to like kind of grab onto. You know, especially now, like I feel like, you know, okay, yeah, you can't go on like a major vacation, like you can't travel, you can't do all that stuff, but like you can still get in a car, like throw a tent. I mean,
exactly.
A little cold right now. Like throw a tent, a sleeping bag, and your boards in a car and go someplace. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be surf. You can go skate, like go camp in like a local campground, and then find like, you know, your town or city to go, you know, skate.
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
So any other like any up and coming brands to look out for, like that you've seen recently kind of growing?
Jeez, that's a tough one. God, call me on a loop on a. I don't know, man. That's hard. Yeah. Like there's definitely like a lot of like there's this actually like this kid from Doylestown who's got like his HJ Customs like had him here a couple times for like his pop up and stuff. Like, you know, I think like what he's doing with his like shoe, you know, stuff is like insane.
Super unique.
Yeah, really unique. Like, and it's cool to see it come into Doylestown because it's definitely more like what you would see like in Philly or like New York, something like that. So so it's so sick to see that like happening in Doylestown. But yeah, I mean it's hard. Like there's definitely a lot of small like, oh my god, yeah, Shredder. Like you're not gonna see this like anywhere. Like, you know, she's never gonna go corporate because it's all handmade and it's like each piece is a you know, a piece of art, literally.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have her stuff in here. Gloria's like super rad. She skates really well.
So it's called Shredder?
It's called Shredder. Like it's kind of like shred and then like underscore her.
That's
sick. It's, you know, like
sick.
Yeah, it's all like women's stuff and you know, I think it's like, I know it's Gloria, but I think there's a couple other girls involved with it too. But yeah, it's so awesome to see. Yeah, it's super like sick. Thrifted stuff, and then she like does all like the embroidery and on it.
Oh, that's sick.
It's so rad.
Yeah, I like stuff like that, like one of ones and like some unique.
Yeah.
Definitely love thrifting. Thrifting is sick. Do you thrift at all?
You know, I used to do it a lot. Actually, my wife and I, like when we were dating and stuff. Yeah, and then kind of like fell out of it. But I would actually love to start doing that again because like it would be cool to like somehow incorporate like Nomad in the thrifting, like Nomad pieces in the thrifting.
You can definitely like you know, get some thrifted stuff and like you know, put Nomad.
Even if I did like patches or something, like or printed like some of my like block prints on them and stuff. Yeah. Like I don't know. Somehow connected that to Nomad.
Yeah, so printing. I wanted to touch a little bit on printing. So you want to explain a little bit about your it's what exactly it's
block printing.
Block printing.
Yeah, linoleum cut, lino cut. Yeah, I mean, so I was doing that for a while before. That was just like a side gig, like just something to do. Like I would actually do it like on my like lunch breaks at work and stuff.
Yeah. So how'd you get into that?
I don't know. I just wanted to do it, and then, I just was like, that looks awesome. There's this guy that actually like, that's one of his prints over there. That the big wave with the boat on it. That's so sick. Yeah, Joe Hodnicki, he has a thing like he's from Jersey and he has this thing called Sharing the Stoke and. Like very like surf and nautical inspired like block printing stuff, and I was like, that looks so rad. Like I don't understand how this works, but like I want to figure it out. And then my wife had gotten me a starter kit, and I went down there and like carved this like rad little wave, and it like this is really cool. And I was like, this is amazing.
So that's been an on and off like
Yeah.
like
I haven't done much.
whatever
in,
you
like,
have time.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So like, who's printing the Nomad shirts? Like, is that like?
That's my friend Dave.
Oh.
Yeah, my friend Dave. So actually, through when I was doing my block printing stuff, he found me like somehow on Instagram. So I can't hate on social media sometimes because you do make friends on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now he like rides for the shop and everything. He's
That's sick.
such a killer friend. But yeah, he does all the screen printing, right over and like he's like kind of near Asbury Park, like Neptune.
Yeah.
So you send all like who prints it, so it's not like.
Oh yeah.
So you just send.
Yeah.
Now, do you send the stuff to get printed? Like, how does that work?
We order the stuff and
Okay.
then usually drop ships right to him.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and then I go over and I'll pick it up. But I mean, he's been screen printing for so long, like he's such a wizard with it. Like he's like, "What color?" And I'm like, "Let's do this color." He's like, "Nah, that's a terrible idea." So
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, cool."
It's better than
Like,
just having like a random like factory. To
Oh
do
yeah,
for you.
for sure.
Yeah.
For
Is that
sure.
way, like-
yeah, it's awesome.
If you need something small changed or like
Yeah,
you want something done your
Yeah.
way versus like the set option
yeah.
when ordering, so that's really
Yeah,
cool though.
yeah, no, it's awesome. I love having this like process with him, and he definitely helps me out quite a bit. And like I'm also like recommending him to like other people because people ask me all the time like where I get stuff.
Yeah.
Printed, so I'm like, yeah, I'll call Dave.
Yeah.
So
That's super cool.
yeah, and I mean he's been killing it with his surfing too, and he's definitely gonna get. I think he should get some recognition for what he does.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I mean when it comes to like a longboard, like East Coast is not typically like your longboard like.
Yeah, for
Haven.
sure.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
such a Southern California thing, and warmer. I don't want to say warmer, but it's a much more like California thing, and so like for longboarding in the area, like I mean, he's definitely kind of like
Yeah.
leading like a good
So how long
charge.
have you been surfing?
I started surfing in '97.
And what beat? Because I mean, you grew up in Warrington, so like, where were you? How'd you get introduced to surfing?
Family in California, growing up, like so they were he's my cousin Derek that I'm really close with. He'd always show up with his like super
Surf
cool
shirt.
like OP shirts and stuff, and I'm like, man, this is so rad. And then
I wanna
like
be him.
yeah, dude, look at that mullet. Look at his weird shaggy hair. It's so
All the
awesome.
girls.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm still packing in my pot. So I went out to California when I was like 13 for like a little bit of time, and then
Like
got
a family vacation.
it was just me and my grandmother actually.
sick.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Like my parents just sent us out there, like bought tickets and was like, hey, you're gonna go out and see your family. And I was
That's
like, awesome.
sick.
Yeah. So I have an uncle that lives in Huntington Beach, which is like
I see.
I don't know, it's right in the heart of like the surf culture down there and all that touristy stuff that they do in
Yeah.
Southern
Yeah.
California.
I can imagine that's like a dream.
Oh,
Back when you
dude,
were
13 years old, like yeah.
In the 90s.
But so like I did that trip, but then I went back when I was 17. Yeah, 17 or 16, going on 17. I don't know, whatever it was. You start losing track of that stuff. And I spent like a month out there. Like I was supposed to be out there for a week, and we just kept pushing it longer and longer. And I was
sick.
doing like everything that was like quintessential for like 90s Southern California punk rock. Like we were just like, sorry mom and dad, but we were just getting totally drunk every night and just like eating Jack in the Box till like
That's
4
sick.
in the morning, and then getting up at 6 and just surfing for like 12 hours, and then doing the same thing. Don't repeat what I do.
Yeah,
Don't.
sounds like a movie.
Dude, it was like a movie, dude. Like at one point in time, like I mean, we're talking before like GPSs and stuff, and I had to. So
So
You
this
have,
is,
you have like a
is
map.
this the summer?
this is the summer, yeah.
Okay.
So and this is I had a physical paper map, and my cousin's like working, but he's like, hey, take my car, go meet my friends. Dude, I got lost in LA, like, and I was pulling over places trying to figure out, like, no cell phones.
Yeah.
I get out of the car, nobody spoke any English, and I was like, I'm gonna die in LA.
Yeah.
This is gonna be amazing. My parents are gonna never see me again.
Yeah.
Who were you living with?
I was with my aunt.
And they were like pretty.
Oh yeah, I mean
That's sick.
my poor Aunt Melinda. I mean, she's such a great lady, but she had no idea. Like,
Did you get good at surfing, like, or were you just going out and like surf? Like,
I mean, I mean, I'm not gonna brag. I was one of those people that just stood up on my first wave and was like, "Oh, this is what it's meant to be."
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not gonna brag.
I'm not gonna brag or anything, but you know how you guys
this.
have trouble doing that stuff? Yeah, it was so easy. No, not at all. But like, yeah, it did happen that way. But
That's sick.
yeah, it was just very natural.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, I guess I felt like I got good. I came home and got a board right away and started surfing. And by this time it was the fall, and I got my board for, I think it was Christmas actually. Drove over to Ocean City.
Ocean City.
Yeah,
New
Surfer
Jersey.
Supplies, like one of those core shops that, like, I just absolutely love them. They're like
That's sick.
so core, and they've been there forever, and yeah, they're an awesome shop. But I got this used, like, I mean, all right, so you're a Pennsylvania surfer,
Yeah.
and all you know is like endless summer and all that stuff. So like Robert August, I used Robert August longboard on the rack for $400. I was like, yup, give me that
That's
thing. So I would drive all the way down there. Like anytime I surfed, I would drive like 2 hours each way, and
How old were you at the time?
I guess I was 18.
Yeah, so you were like, that's what you were.
17.
You
Like
drove
our
down.
age.
Yeah, I was like your age, yeah.
That's sick. So,
Getting lost and all this stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that mainly where you surf? Like
That's
Ocean
right.
City?
No,
like,
that's what. So I was only going there, and then when I was at Bucks, I met a guy that surfed, and he was like, "Where do you go?" I was like, "Ocean City." He's like, "Why do you go down all the way
Yeah.
down there?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You can go to Belmar." And I was like, "What's a Belmar?"
What's
a
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a Philadelphia area kid. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. That's all you know is Ocean City and Sea Isle and
Yeah,
Wildwood.
pretty much.
Like,
Yeah.
that's all you know. Like, gotta go down the shore. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go down the shore, eat
Yeah.
some Wawa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get some Mac and Mancos or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started going to like Belmar.
Started going to
Is that
Belmar.
mainly where you still get like what?
That's the area that I
Okay.
go. Yeah. So like I don't usually surf in Belmar that much. It's just super crowded all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it gets fun, but it's super crowded all
Does
the
it
time.
change depending on the beach? Like, are there beaches that you
Yeah.
would prefer to go over than others?
For sure.
What's like your
Depends
top
on-
beach?
Yeah, it's hard because it just depends on the direction of the swell, like and the
True.
wind and all that stuff. So it's like
The nerd shit.
it is the nerds. It is. You kind of
I'm
like
sorry, I'm not making fun of you.
I
think
watch
it's-
the weather.
I think
Like
it's
you
super
guys
cool.
watch like what is it? I don't know. What is it called? Morty. What's that show?
Rick and
Rick
Morty.
Rick and Morty. Yeah.
don't
I
know.
watch the weather like you guys watch that.
Yeah? That's sick though.
Like I don't.
I've never
like,
watched it, but yeah.
Oh, alright, alright. Bad example.
I think it's really cool that like I know I said it was like nerdy, but
It is
like, I
nerdy.
think it's pretty cool.
No,
that,
it's
like,
super
It's
nerdy.
good nerdy.
You
though.
know, like
Yeah.
I was talking to Alex Luke
Yeah.
on our last episode. We were talking about, and I was like, "How do you know how tall the waves are? Like, you go and stand
I
next to
know.
them? Like, he's like, I know. I'm like, all right, like, I mean, I guess you do. Like, if it's 8 feet, it's 8 feet. You
I
know?
mean, that's one of my favorite things is like during the summer listening to people say they went down to the beach and the waves are so huge they were like 10 feet tall, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're probably standing on the beach, it probably hit you in the face and you're like, oh, that was 10 feet tall, but realistically
It was like
you were
6.
probably already standing up to your shoulders, so it was probably only like 6 inches tall, like, let's be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
surfing's fun. I've been twice.
Yeah,
I
how'd it go?
took a lesson like a few years ago, and then Jake Dinan took me and a few buddies out over the summer, and he gives like a little private lesson, and
Dude, he rips. Him and his brother rip, man.
No,
They're
yeah.
so good.
they all rip.
They have a good style too.
Jason Stein rips too.
Does he?
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
pretty
I've seen his
good.
time. Surf.
And they like spend the summer basically down at the beach. So.
It's awesome.
But it was a fun time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not the easiest thing, but I would definitely love to like go out there more. It's just so hard.
Get out there.
Yeah.
It's the dream to like have like a house down there, but like
Oh, yeah.
so expensive.
Dude, I have always complained, like, you know, everybody in Southeast Pennsylvania, like, has a grandparent or an aunt or
Yeah.
somebody with a beach house.
They know
What the
somebody.
hell, man? Like, I feel like I'm probably one of the most dedicated people that, like, goes
And
down
you have
there and,
no
like,
clue.
I got nobody. Like,
Yeah.
So here I am, like, getting changed, like, on the side of the road when it's, like, 5 degrees
Yeah.
out and, like, I'm, like, completely naked.
Yeah.
Oh,
you,
come
don't,
on.
you don't have a beach house.
No!
Well, you got it.
I gotta change that for my kids so
Yeah.
like, they can at least not complain.
Once your kids graduate, you got to move to the
I'm out, man.
beach.
Where's Nomad number
Yeah.
2 going?
Yeah, Move out. You know, leave
No,
this one.
I don't know if it's
That'd be
Jersey.
sick. Nomad down the shore.
I know.
West Coast.
I mean, this would fit
I
right
don't
in.
know. It would fit in. I don't know. I would need the right place. Like, I don't want to just be like
Oh yeah, for
a
sure.
normal surf touristy
Yeah, 'cause there's
shop.
so
Like, it's
many.
cool. Like, I mean, they have their thing in like surf shops. have a vibe, have their thing, but like I don't want to be a normal thing.
Yeah, you want to be different.
Be your own guy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So like back to Nomad. Now that you guys are like, I say like becoming big, becoming like a part of town. Like, what have you guys done to engage with the community?
Oh man. So I mean, the first, I don't even know where to start on that one. So it's like, I like with these pop-ups that we've done, we've had like local like vendors like come and like sell their stuff here at the shop because I feel like it's a platform.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
Yeah, it's a platform, and like because like part of my model is having like smaller, independent, new and up and coming like brands and makers in the shop. I feel like it's a platform for other people to come here and sell their stuff. So we've done a bunch of pop-ups. We've had The Convinced has come and played a few times here at the store, which is so rad. Like I love hearing like live,
time.
like garage band type music. Like it's so awesome to have it in the shop.
Yeah, it's
Max is so proud of himself.
Max is proud. He should be proud.
yeah.
No, I think it's so cool. But then like, we're now this Saturday we're gonna have our third girls skate at the Y because
That's super sick.
yeah, I mean like as having daughters, like I see that like. As much as you don't want to admit that there's like an intimidation, there's an intimidation factor. Like especially you show up and it's like all older teenage boys and they all like rip and it's like, Dad, and it's like so I want to give them like a safe place, like help create like a safe place. I mean that sounds like a bad word, like it's like, but like give them a place where they feel comfortable and they can like build each other up and like can lean on each other.
Yeah, I know. I had a lesson I taught a girl who. Was my lesson and I was teaching her and the one day I was like, oh yeah, you should go to this girl skate thing. She's like, yeah, I'll check it out. And the next lesson we talked about it and she had like a blast.
Oh
she
dude, it's awesome.
Fun time.
So sorry, I'm checking my phone.
No,
My
good.
daughter texted me
Don't
twice.
worry about it.
Picking me up in 30 minutes, right? See, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Super dad.
That's juggling. Yeah, so it's like I think like the first one we did, it was like my girls and my wife and like a couple other friends, and their kids, and then the second one was like so many new kids and girls from like out of town,
yeah.
And now like this third one, like hopefully like it's supposed to be really nice out. Hopefully it's just packed.
Yeah.
So I think the more we can just like spread word about that, like that's huge.
Yeah, because like I mean, it's obviously like people obviously think like, oh, girls don't skate, they do this and that, but it's like that's not true.
No, it's not true.
You having these girls skate nights.
When this whole like when the shutdown started back in March and like we couldn't really be open, like, and that's kind of like when the skate world was kind of like starting to boom, like everybody was home for quarantine and stuff like that, so everybody was teaching themselves new things.
Yeah, exactly.
And literally like 60-70% of the first customers in that time period getting new setups were girls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was like they just kind of started coming out of the woodwork, and I guess like they were like, I've always wanted to teach myself this, so here we go. So it's not just like younger girls, like it was like probably like 20-something girls. Like I guess you're still young. You're still young. So.
Yeah.
But it was like it was diverse. It was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool to see.
So I think it's super cool that you're working so you just like that you're working with the Y. So did you just go over there and like talk to the Y and talk about doing some events and stuff? Or?
Yeah, so Andrew over there at the Y has been like really receptive. Like I just kind of like throw out ideas to him all the time, like the girl skate one, and then actually my daughter had a really cool idea about doing like almost like a Christmas skate or like a New Year's skate, which I thought would be really cool if like the weather
that'd be super sick.
Yeah, so I think they're like seeing that there's a lot more people using it, the skate park.
I think it's super cool that they're deciding to keep it open in a way, because I mean in the time that I've been going there for years, it's closes November 30th, opens up April 1st.
Yeah, and that's such a bummer because you have all these let's face it, our winters are not like what they used to be, and like we have all these warm weeks that happen, and it's like, dude, like everybody could be out there playing right now. Yeah, just open it, let us skate, like let everybody get out there and at least like get some like sunshine physical activity. Like everybody's been sitting around for months, so
especially because it didn't open until the fall this year. Like stayed closed from basically the beginning of the winter last year to the beginning of fall this year. So
Yeah.
for a good chunk of the year it was closed. So
At this point, it's like you better make it up.
yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Make up that missed time. Yeah, it's super sick because getting involved with the skate park is very important for a skate shop.
Yeah, for sure. And I just, I think the more events that we can do, the more like community building. Like we'll just have like a confident and we'll have confident like kids, but we'll also have a town that becomes more comfortable with it. Like right now, like Doylestown kind of sucks for skating. Like you can get like a $250 ticket for like riding your board down the sidewalk.
I remember the kids get the one. After the 1 year celebration, the little kids came back and they were like, "We got chased out of the spot."
Yeah,
like,
dude,
these little kids are getting
that made their entire like childhood right
that's,
there.
like that's what I want to see though. Like I want to see little kids committing low level crimes
Exactly.
and
yeah.
breaking the
I think it's so important. I mean, like as like skateboarding, like will always be like, and it's kind of like surfing, like counterculture in a sense. Like it's not your normal thing. Like you're not playing a team sport that like the local pizza shop is going to sponsor your team. Like you're doing it on your own. It's a street thing. Like but like the more comfortable you can make the residents feel about it, like it'll become like a normal thing in Doylestown again. I think it will at least.
And that's what I like, especially about opening a skate shop in town. It's like, oh well. There's a skate shop. It's not like these kids are just.
Yeah.
Have you been like blamed for anything? Like, are they like,
so far, no.
These kids.
Chris, what the hell?
I'm expecting it one of these days, to be honest. But like, no. So far, I mean, it's really funny though, because like across the street there's like a parking lot, and when I first opened, like everybody was taking the stickers and just slapping them all over town, like, and so this dude comes over, I open it up.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, I love it. I
remember,
awesome.
I think it was actually like one of the first times I came in. I got a sticker. I got like 2 or 3 stickers. I was like, I'm gonna put one in my car, and I'm like, where the hell am I gonna put the rest? And I was like, there's a sign right here. And I just slapped it.
Was it across the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that guy brought that sticker back over to me in the morning, and he goes, I found this on the sign over there. Still in good shape, I figured you could use it. I was like, what? What am I going to do with a sticker that's been stuck to the sign?
Stop, Nomads.
Oh, it's so awesome. Yeah.
You got a hate group.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's super cool. When did you start skating?
I mean, I was skating back in high school, so like I skated for a while, like, but I was also playing soccer, and I had goals of playing soccer for college, or with college, and I was blessed from my awesome father of having really bad ankles.
Yeah.
So, soccer was going fine, and then I hurt my ankles a couple times, and then I really hurt them skating a couple times.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't give up soccer for skating. Like I wanted to go to school and like get a scholarship and all that stuff. So I legitimately kind of quit skating because I was like, I can't lose everything I've been trying to do for all these years. Like I can't lose it.
So
this is in like early high school, not even like middle school.
Yeah.
Skating.
So you stopped skating to play soccer to keep playing soccer. And then did you put playing college?
So my senior year I ended up dislocating my kneecap. Or no, my junior year I ended up dislocating. I was the captain of the JV team. Dislocated my kneecap, so that ended that season. Did PT all summer. After that season, did PT for a while. Went to a Rage Against the Machine Wu-Tang concert in Camden. We jumped the fence. We were in the field at Camden. We jumped the fence and we went down into the seats when Rage started because it was just like
it was all hell
insanity. And I was in a mosh pit and I got pushed from behind, and when I was in the air, landed on my leg and my kneecap popped out again.
The same one?
Same one.
Oh.
So that was the end of soccer.
So
didn't have skateboarding, didn't have soccer.
Did you stay for the rest of the concert?
Wu-Tang is forever.
Wu-Tang is forever, yeah. Dislocated kneecaps are temporary.
Yeah.
Did you stay for the rest of the concert?
No, I had to go to the hospital.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you were...
My kneecap was literally on the side of my leg.
Did you have to get carried out of the mosh pit?
So because okay, so the first time I did it, I laid on the ground not knowing where my knee was because like my kneecap was like up kind of by my thigh.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Damn.
So I laid there for a while, and then the only fix is basically that you have to straighten your leg and basically hit your kneecap back over.
Yeah.
So when it dislocated in, oh god, it sucks talking about this. When it dislocated,
PTSD.
yeah, dude, major. And when I was at the show, I remembered, like, I was in a mosh pit, so like I had to act quick, like I was gonna get trampled. So I literally just straightened my leg and punched my kneecap, and it went back into place. And I told my friends what happened. They called over one of like the people that work there, and like I just kind of like hobbled out, and they took me. Dude, all right, so we're going back pre-cell phones, right?
Yeah.
My friends had no idea where I was.
Oh.
I was in a hospital in Camden by myself, no family, nobody around.
Were you worried?
The person next to me got shot. So here's this like 17-year-old white kid in Camden, like I'm like scared out of my mind because I'm laying next to a gunshot victim.
Damn.
And nobody knew I was there. So like
did you call your parents at some point?
Yeah, I finally got a hold of my parents. I mean, that was like, so I'm in Camden, so that was like an hour or something drive in the middle, like probably 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, come get me. I'm in some hospital in Camden. I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
So you weren't able to play, like, you stopped playing soccer.
Yeah. So I basically sat out the whole season. I played the last game.
Okay.
Of the season. It's like a for like 15 minutes. It's like a consolation prize. Like, congratulations. Thanks for sitting on the school bus all those games.
Off.
Yeah.
And this was junior or senior?
Senior year.
Okay.
So that was the end of it. Like,
so
there's no college, there's no soccer,
no
like there's
college.
nothing after that.
So
like, I was done.
When did you get
So
back?
that's when I started surfing, actually. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So I started surfing. I guess it was that summer. So like, I guess it. God, I don't know how the time frame worked, but like somewhere in there, I started surfing.
Yeah.
And so I had surfing to kind of like lean back on, and that was like my thing, my go-to.
Yeah. And then when did you get back into skating?
Honestly, I didn't get back into it. Like, I had always like just messed around on cruisers and stuff because like,
the beach.
Yeah, like the beach and all that stuff. But like, really, it was when my oldest daughter started skating again. Like, I was like, "You want to do this? All right, yeah, let's do this." Like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it was a big hiatus there, and like going through like, parenthood and all that stuff. Like, I wasn't even surfing that much anymore. Like, and I was working full time, so it was like really hard to find any time to do anything.
Yeah.
So when she started skating, I was like, oh god, like I'm a 37 or so, 38-year-old guy, like getting back into it. I haven't touched a board since like watching one of like Jamie Thomas's original videos.
That long ago.
Oh my god, it was like so long ago.
We met Jamie Thomas. He's pretty cool.
Oh, he's so sick.
We met the Zero team. They were super nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're so sick. I love them so much. Like the whole brand, the image, everything about it was so rad.
Like our whole group of friends was there, and he was like super stand up guy. Talked to all of us, took a picture with us.
That's cool.
Just hung out with us.
That's cool.
We wanted to go to the demo after, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't have our parents wouldn't let us, and he's like, "Come ride in the van with us."
Did you go in the van?
No, our parents wouldn't let us. We're like, "Come on."
You go in the van. That's what you do. You just go in the van.
That would have literally I think I would still be raving about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
for
hanging out in a skate van with the whole Zero team.
Oh my god, dude. That would have been so.
Thanks to Lori, bro.
Yeah, bro. This is Darren. We don't associate ourselves with you anymore after that incident. It's super sick that you got back into skating.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like, you're not gonna find me doing anything.
Yeah.
Like off the ground. I can't.
You're pretty good for having not skated for 30 years, 20 years.
So sad. It's so sad. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I do love it. Yeah. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I rolled my ankle at the Y, like just like messing around, like the stupidest thing ever. And I rolled my ankle at the Y like a month ago. It still kills me. Like, I don't know if it's broken or what, but like, no health insurance. Part of the perks of being a business owner.
So back to owning a business. Do you have any advice for people who aspire to open their own business?
I mean, I think it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like, you have to believe in it, and it's not something that you can just, like, rush.
Yeah.
Like, you have to figure it out. Like, be confident in your decisions. Like, just make decisions, like, even in your life. Like, even if your business isn't going to happen now, like, try and figure out, like, all right, how can I connect this to what I want to do eventually?
Yeah. Do you have any specific advice towards somebody who wants to open a store? Like,
I think do your homework and know what you want to open it for. You know, like,
yeah.
you just want to sell stuff? Because then, like, you can sell whatever you want. Like, you just have to know how to, like, again, you have to believe in it and, like, want to sell it and do it for the right reasons. I think people can read through that stuff.
Yeah, because obviously you were saying that you could have chose a bunch of other jobs, but I mean you probably would have made, you know, it probably would be the same income or more, but
probably a lot more.
I mean, you chose, in the end of the day, you chose what you you loved and what you would rather be doing, you know? Because, I mean,
I never, ever, ever, ever complain about being here.
Yeah.
Like, even when it's slow or even when I'm, like, swamped or whatever it is, like, I absolutely love doing what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I love watching.
Like fun.
Yeah, I mean, I love watching the community. Like, dude, opening my back door back here, like, you know, on the anniversary thing, and there was, like, probably, like, 15 little kids running around, and, like, everybody's, like, gripping boards, and they're, like, I was like, this is, like, mind-blowing. This is, like, all the dreams of, like, owning a, like, shop like this, like, are coming true.
And, I mean, once this whole COVID thing's over, I mean, it's gonna be...
Dude, we're gonna rage. We're gonna rage. Barbecues, movies, music, like, I mean, going back, like, that thing we threw in March with, like, the 4 bands. Dude, that was so much fun.
That was literally right, like, that was...
That was the weekend before everything shut down.
Yeah.
Dude, I was being a weasel. My ears were hurting. I was like...
No, that was crazy. Like,
that was so fun.
That was a crazy
fun.
show.
Yeah, I had so much fun doing that.
Yeah, but that's super sick. I'm super glad that you opened up the shop, and I definitely, you know, will keep coming here, and I definitely think that, I mean, it's gonna keep growing. I mean, it's been a year, and the growth has been insane.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
I love it. Just the shop itself is great. Like, I remember your displays and all the brands you had when I first came in. And I mean, not that they weren't cool, but it was like, you have so much, I mean, you knocked down that whole wall.
Chris, I'll be honest, your stuff sucked when I first got here.
No, but I mean, that's part of it. Like, you know, you just have to, like, watch what's happening and, like, watch what people are, like, being drawn to. And
it's a learning experience.
It is. Everything's a learning experience. And it's like, there's no way that I can say, like, oh, I wish I, you know, you can say I wish I did things differently, but I think it's also part of the process.
You can't succeed without failing.
No, totally. And you know, you can't succeed without, like, having, like, guys like you, like, customers like you, like, people to hang out. Like, you know, it's like, I think making a home, making a home for people to come and, like, feel comfortable and I think supported.
I think definitely, like, what I've noticed is that you tend to worry about like the person themselves before they become the customer. It's more like
100%.
Building that relationship as a human than as a buyer and a seller, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So
yeah, I mean, the first question, like, I mean, you go into any retail store, it's like, hey, how's it going? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Yeah, how can I help you? Like, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, you guys walking around town? Oh, did you go to Starbucks? You get that drink? Oh, did you go to Native? Did you get that, like, Jay's, like, Thai basil? Oh, my God. Yeah, go to Native.
Yeah,
go to Native. I highly recommend.
Local food recommendations.
Local food recommendations.
Or drink like
Native is my go-to these days. Yeah,
Jay
keeps me fed. Jay keeps me fed well, and he keeps me caffeinated.
Yeah, I gotta go there.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a really good dude. Good business.
That's sick.
He's like very similar. Like I'm so glad they opened in town too. Like, I feel like we're very similar in that sense. Like it's just like you walk in there and it's like I don't know.
It's a homey
it's comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would definitely go there.
That's sick. Any closing remarks? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, thanks for having me. This is rad.
No problem, man. We've been wanting to for a long ass time.
Yeah, I remember.
I think the first time we recorded this.
One of our first ones, we came, we came to town. We were gonna get Wawa, and we were like, oh, let's go stop in. And I think like Tucci and Sean were here, and we were talking to them, and I was like, me and him, we just recorded our podcast. And you were like, oh, podcast, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, we'll have to have you on. You were like, yeah, totally. So
that's awesome. I love it.
We'll definitely have to have you back on. That would be super cool.
Totally.
especially
Yeah.
you know in the future. You know, have you on, have a few of the other homies on with you. You know?
Dude, I would love that. I would love that. Like, I feel like we can almost make it like, let's do like a series, like
Yeah.
kind of like artists and musicians.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
it'd be
did.
super sick.
Yeah.
So thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Nomad, come check out Nomad.
Yeah.
Super sick store, super sick guy, obviously.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All
Peace
right.
out.
Peace.